Perfect. Well, thank you guys all for joining me again. I'm really excited to be presenting on this. This is the first of 3 webinars that I'll be going over for the next 3 weeks. They're all going to be at the same time on Tuesdays, if you guys want to write that in. And I'm also going to go over, there'll be a slide at the end where I'll talk about what's coming up next in the next two. They kind of all build off each other. So I'll definitely go over some of those things because I'm sure you'll have a lot of questions, and we'll do a little bit of a Q&A at the end of this one. So this one's all about understanding the Instagram basics. My goal is to help you make a bigger impact on social media, use social media more effectively, and to help you get paid more. That's what we're all here for, and using the Parity Now platform to do as athletes and as role models that you all are. I will do a poll soon. I want to ask you guys about the level that you're at with Instagram so I can make sure that we're tailoring this and giving the time with each slide to go over some of these basics. But just a reminder, this will be very specific on the basics. So some of you who may have not even started on Instagram yet, or are using it just for friends and family and haven't started using it more strategically. And then the next ones will be even further with more strategic tips and tricks on growth and planning out your posts and creating things like that. All right, so the agenda that we're going to go over in the next 30-40 minutes is we're going to start with how to navigate the app. So just some basic moving through that kind of stuff. Post and content types. So all the different types of posts. Now there's Instagram Reels. So there's so many different types of posts that you can do on Instagram. Profile setup and optimization, as well as just learning about some of the insights. We're going to go over insights, so like the metrics, the data that we can look at on our posts. And in future webinars, we'll go even more in depth on this, but I want you all to get a good understanding of what that looks like. We'll talk about initial growth, so how you can get some of those first fans, followers, and connections that you've had offline or on other platforms to come and amalgamate onto your Instagram. And we'll go over some of the next steps, like the next webinars that we're going to do, and we'll have a little bit of a Q&A. So one thing is, if you do want to get out your phone, and if you have Instagram, have it open, because we'll be able to work on some of these things together. As well, I'm not sure if I can open up my chat while I'm actually in the presentation, but I think there's not too much of you that will be able to do, like, if you have some questions while we're going through that pertain to the slide that it's on, like some technical questions, feel free to unmute yourself and let's see if I can, unmute yourself and ask that question right away. So a little bit of background about who I am to be teaching some of these things. I'm a former Canadian national team athlete. I was on the Canadian national snowboard team for 4 seasons. I had to figure out how to market myself to monetize my social media and get sponsorships, really to fund my career. As you know, competing in sports at a high level is extremely expensive. And you need to figure out how to market and brand yourself to get those sponsorship opportunities so that you can make it happen and compete at those high levels. I founded my own agency in 2014, a year out from when I retired from the national team, and it was a social media marketing agency. And this actually came from some of the brands that I was working with as an athlete, who saw the potential for me helping them out as businesses. I've also personally consulted hundreds of athletes over the years on their social media. So actually, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to gauge your level right now. So do you guys want to let me know what level you're at currently with using Instagram before I actually get started into some of the information? And you can totally unmute yourself and just let me know, because I think I cannot stop screen sharing to actually look at the chat.
Hey, Natalie, sorry, what are you looking for? Like how many followers we have or how much we use Instagram?
Yeah, just kind of where your level is at. Have you been starting to use it, kind of to market yourself? Has it mainly been for friends and family? Is there anyone on here who has not used it at all? I just want to make sure so I don't skip over anything.
Yeah, well, for me, I really like Instagram. I'm on it constantly, but I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily marketing myself. I use Instagram to support small businesses, so posting in my story, just trying to get some advertisements for them there. But I wouldn't say that I do too much beyond that. The requirements that we've had for the PWHPA, like posting there, I've done that as well. So I wouldn't say I'm completely savvy on it, just looking to learn a lot. And I have under 1,000 followers. So.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I think this is exactly, you're exactly who this first webinar is geared towards. Is there anyone on here who varies from that level? Is there anyone who like has not downloaded the app, or who's just started downloading the app but hasn't made any posts perhaps, or just a couple posts? All right. So far, it seems nobody. So that's great, because one of the things is I want to start off by I'll go through kind of some of my methodology and how I approach social media. And one of the things is I'm here specifically to relate social media to how you can use it as an athlete. For some of those technical questions where it's like, how do I download this? Where do I look for these specific things? Instagram has their help page, and so I want to make sure that it's great that you guys are already past that step, so we will be able to kind of skip over that and get straight to some of the strategies of how you can turn from using it just to repost things, more friends and family, using it almost as a consumer, how you can be a creator on the platform. All right, so why even grow your presence on Instagram? So number one is getting paid as an athlete. And that has a large impact, not just on you, but on your sport and your team as a whole. Next is making an impact, and that's making an impact on others. You are all role models to your own generation and the next generation of young female hockey players. And so creating an impact and growing your presence so more people can see the sport and see what you do, it's huge. I know even for myself, I actually grew up playing hockey until I switched to snowboarding. And it was a huge impact to see like the games on TV. And if there was social media and I could have connected with other female hockey players and female hockey players who I've seen playing at the higher level, that would have made a huge difference. And so it's really cool that in this day and age, you all can be that role model and connect directly with those younger fans and athletes who are coming up. Next is controlling your brand and voice. I think this is huge for athletes, being able to control your narrative around who you are. Not letting other media outlets or things like this control your brand and voice, but having a direct platform. Next, expand your opportunities. Social media, and as you grow on social media, it'll only expand the opportunities that you have monetarily, impact-wise, connections that you'll make that will last beyond your days playing sports. Connecting with others and networking, as well as I mentioned, inspiring the current and the next generations, which I think is huge. And I'm really proud to be presenting and working with you all on this, because that's just a mission that I really believe in. So the way I approach social media is it's all about setting healthy expectations and thinking about things strategically. So like your training, when you've worked with a strength and conditioning coach, or perhaps even a nutritionist, a team nutritionist, you can burn out when they give you the perfect plan. There could be this perfect plan. It's like, this is what's going to make you the best hockey player on earth. But humans, we're not robots. We can't just follow everything exactly to a T and just expect the exact output to come out based on that. So you can burn out for sure on social media. And so I think it's important to set healthy expectations and find what works best for you. If people are telling you you need to be posting 3 times a day, and that's just something that's going to drive you crazy and burn you out, you definitely do not have to do that. It's all about figuring out the strategy that can work best for you and fit into your schedule, your lifestyle, and your personality. So another healthy expectation that I think it's important to remember is that likes aren't everything. Even having one person, 10 people, 100 people, and so on, see your post and listen and hear what you have to say, that's extremely impactful in the scheme of things. That's like having, a room full of people, a gymnasium full of people. Often people start getting tied to these numbers and seeing, oh, it only reached 1,000 people. 1,000 people is an incredibly, a large and impactful amount. So another thing is overcoming perfectionism and overthinking. This is something that holds people back from putting themselves out there more on social media. And so this is something that I think is to have healthy expectations around, understanding that, It's going to take a lot of time if you're trying to get the perfect picture, the perfect video, overthinking things. If you just put yourself out there, you're going to improve with time and you're going to get feedback. That's the great thing about social media, is it allows for instant feedback and back and forth communication that you wouldn't get in other forms of media. And so you can keep improving over time based on this. Again, another thing is vulnerability, struggling with that word today, and putting yourself out there. And this is something it's hard for most people to start putting themselves out there more. There's a lot of maybe judgment that you worry about, or thoughts or feedback that you're worried about. And this is another thing similar to overcoming perfectionism and overthinking, that over time, you're going to be able to overcome these things and feel better putting yourself out there over time. But it really does take the bravery of starting to do it and then starting getting comfortable with it. And another thing about social media is I believe that there's no exact set formula, but there are best practices. This is why we see people who rise on social media in all different strategies and all different modalities and all different things that they do, from athletes to makeup artists to entrepreneurs. There's people who are all killing it in their own ways. There's best practices of how to use it, and that's what I'm going to teach you. But there's no exact set formula. If so, we'd all have millions of followers. So Instagram is where your fans are. There's 500 million daily active users, and it is a top platform for monetization. So if I were to pick only one social media app for athletes, this would definitely be it, because brands really trust Instagram. They can see the metrics, they can see the insights and the stats there, they can see the engagement, and there are so many different types of content which we'll go into. You can post videos, photos, screenshots of graphics or writings that you've done. If you're someone who's like on Twitter and you post something great, screenshot it, put it up on Instagram. There's so many ways that you can express yourself, and you don't have to limit yourself to one specific way. So as I kind of asked at the start, no one is really new to Instagram. So I had this slide in here in case there were some people that were pretty new, but I think most of you likely, and you can totally stop me and ask a question here if you don't, so I'm just going to go over this super quickly, is how to navigate the app. I'm sure you guys all know what the home feed is, the explore page, notifications, how to see them, the profile and the grid. If you don't, now is the time to ask me and I can get into more explanation. I included a few different screenshots here of what the home screen looks like. Just for reference, Instagram is always updating. Like literally, when I first made the slides, they already made a huge update to how the app looks. And some people have different tabs now with the launch of Reels, which we'll discuss. And so I just wanted to show some perspective on the different tabs that they have, because even myself, I still have the old school kind of screenshot that I showed on the left here, but some people have some of the other ones now and they're testing new things out. So not everyone's Instagram app actually looks the same. So is anyone, I'll just give like 1 second here if anyone I think this is pretty basic and I think most of you know this, but if not, just let me know. All right, we're gonna move on to the next. All right, so post types. So there are photos, and these can be cropped in many different ways. You see square photos on your feed, landscape photos, so horizontal, portrait, which are the more vertical sized. Videos, the same format, they are sub 1 minute. When you're posting a video, it's important to know that, less than 1 minute. You have carousel, so those are the albums and the collection of images, which can be very powerful. And then there's also IGTV, which is vertical long form video. So you can think about this almost like YouTube. This is when you can post like 10-minute videos and they take up the whole screen, they're vertical. And then Reels, same thing, vertical videos, but they're short form. So if you've heard of the new app TikTok, it's very similar to this, where you have these entertaining videos, you can put music over them. You can even put like hockey highlights and put some music behind it and kind of make a little bit more of a professional video than you would see in someone's story, and actually share it to the feed and get to the explore page, which can help you reach new people. And then we have stories, which are vertical images or videos. And this is something that you can think about almost like Snapchat, where it's like behind the scenes clips, what you're kind of up to during the day. reposting, like was mentioned, reposting things from teammates, from brands, from small businesses, whatever you want to do, quotes, things like that. This is where you're like kind of directly connecting behind the scenes with your fans and with your audience. Now, I want to go over a couple things when it comes to post types. Is that one thing to keep in mind where we're seeing like the performance of specific types of posts. There's no specific post type that has shown to perform better. Some people are, they try to say video is the best, or IGTV is the best. Now, when a new feature like Reels comes out, these Reels videos, Instagram is trying to push them because they're doing it for a purpose. They want to take over the market share from TikTok. And so they are really pushing this format. However, when there's not a new feature coming out, Instagram has an account where they actually share some of the news and answer some frequently asked questions and some rumors that go on about what posts are better and things like that. And they say that no post is inherently better. However, it's what is best for your audience. So if your audience, the people who follow you, happen to mostly like videos, then what's going to show up in their feed is videos. For example, if I'm on my feed and I like a lot of quotes, for example, I'm going to get a lot more quotes and probably less videos. So it all completely depends on your audience, which is why testing these things out and seeing what works best for you is so important. And then just seeing those insights and seeing what happens. And that's why we will learn a bit about post insights so that you'll be able to, see what's doing well and how to make decisions based off that. Does anyone have any questions when it comes to like post types? I'm sure you've seen probably just from scrolling your feed, or even if you've posted in all these different types of posts, these things. But if you have any specific questions, say on like Reels or stories, you can let me know. We can also just save those to the Q&A later if you don't want to ask it right now. All right. Okay, so setting up your profile. So your account type should be a creator or a business account type. Now, where you'll go to find this is you're going to go to the settings. So that's where you actually say you're at your profile here. You click those there was this 3 lines on the top there, and then you see the top thing. Let's see if I can get it to focus. I have a light here and it's reflecting pretty heavily. And you press the settings. Now you'll see here, circled here, under account. And usually when you scroll down to the bottom, it'll say switch to business account, switch to creator account. For example, on mine, I am a creator account, so it'll switch to personal account or switch to business account. Now you want to have a creator or business account because this allows you to go and then see insights. So this is like metrics and stats about your post and about your audience. So that is really important. Also, it's going to allow you to then tag brands in your posts, which is important as you have these sponsored posts that you'll be making. And so if anyone doesn't have that and you do have your phone out, I would definitely go and switch that. And I would switch, it's easy.
Says, oh, sorry. What if it says switch to a professional account?
Oh, yeah, you can switch to a professional account. It's weird. I don't have the professional account option here on mine. Okay. Like I said, Instagram is testing out different things for everybody, which is the interesting part about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to put mine as like one of those creator or business account, and I don't have that option when I'm on my settings. Trying to see that.
Interesting. Okay. And I missed who it was who mentioned that they only have the professional account. Or who has a professional account, does it give you professional account as well as switch to creator and business, or only professional account?
No, it only shows professional account. And then when you click it, it says you can sign up for a free one. So I'm just kind of following the prompts to see what that actually means.
Yeah, okay, yeah, click that, because I know that maybe that's a new way that they've added. So you go to maybe professional, like what I'm thinking through my head is maybe you go to professional account and then it gives you creator or business. That may be true. And now the person who asked about not seeing any of the options, do you see a professional account option, or you just don't see any option at all?
No, so I don't see any option at all. I mean, I'm not verified, so that might be a factor. I'm not sure. But like when I'm on the account option from the settings, I just see like my options are saved, close friends, language, captions, contact settings, sharing to other apps, cellular data use, original photos, request verification, posts you've liked, and branded content tools.
Gotcha. Okay. And underneath it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't give you any option underneath.
No, that's all that's listed
Okay.
there.
Okay. Yeah, it shouldn't have to do with verification. I don't have verification either. So this, it shouldn't have to do with that. Let me just look here. Just looking in mine. If you do have the branded content tools, that's good because you want that. Um, hmm,
Natalie, the professional one, once you follow through, it does ask, are you a creator? So creator versus business. What would
Perfect.
be your
Okay.
recommendation to choose? Which one?
I would just choose creator.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
I would choose creator. Yeah. I've tested out both, and actually, a question I've gotten before is there any benefit to either when it comes to actually like people seeing your posts? And Instagram says that there's no difference. They deliver everything the same, whether you're a business, a creator, or personal. They don't actually affect who it goes out to. It just, yeah, for having insights and the branded content, you want to have one of those two options. Um, Now, okay, so for the person who didn't have any option at all, are you able, when you actually go to like edit profile, for example, when you go to profile information, are you able to set like a category to your profile?
Wait,
You
I'm
should,
gonna go to settings and then edit profile
um,
here.
yeah, you can, or I would just go to your profile and then it should just have like a big button that says edit profile underneath your bio.
Oh yeah, that
And
just brings me to like my name, username, bio, and things like that.
okay, and then does it have like a kind of like a headline that says profile information?
It says private information, and then it's
Mm,
asking my email, phone, and gender.
oh, oh, gotcha. Do you have a private account?
No, I don't. It is a public.
Oh, oh, okay. I thought I'd hit it on the head. I was like, maybe that's it. Um, apparently not. Um, okay, interesting. Yeah, because under here on my profile information, I'm able to get, I can connect my page, I can set my contact options and category. Um, hmm, don't have that. Okay, we'll save that to the end, and let me see if I can help you out with that. And if it's not something I can help you out with during the Q&A that we have later, then we can email back and forth and we'll try to see what's going on with that.
You got it. Thank you.
No problem. All right, so we're gonna move to the next, no, I already moved to the next. We're just gonna go over like setting up the profile and the bio. Now this should be something that everyone can take part of, apart from perhaps if you haven't set it to a creator or business account, then you're not gonna be able to set the category. But we can go over that for anyone who's having that issue in the Q&A or later via email. So setting up your bio and your actual profile and the way it looks it's very important, because when you do find new people and they find your account, that's what's going to convert them into clicking the follow button. So I would advise everyone, if you already do have a creator or business account, when you go to edit profile, you go to your profile, click that edit profile button. There should be a profile information area, and if you can set your category, and I would recommend having your category set to athlete if you don't already. And this is just a way for people to find out exactly what you do, and it's free space basically in your profile, because there's only so many lines that you can show in your bio, and so having this there prevents you from actually having to then use that word or use that kind of category in your written bio. Now, what's important about your bio is making sure that it has some of these keywords that help people find you when they're searching. So if they're searching for athlete, making sure that you have that word in there, so setting your category to athlete, is going to help with where you come up when people are looking for people to follow. So I think that's important. Another important thing is having a clear profile photo. Now, even just from looking at a lot of the photos that some of you have as your Zoom photo, these are clear profile photos. If you have sports ones that show exactly what you're doing on the ice, headshots that you've taken on the ice, those are great as well. But something that's very clear and visible and looks professional enough, like a clear enough photo that's kind of going to capture the eye. Not maybe like a blurry iPhone selfie is probably not the best, but I'm sure you guys don't have that. So next up, if you can see that the screenshot I took of the parody profile here is having your bio really describing what you do. Now, some things that you can put into your bio here, I'm going to switch over to so you guys can see what mine looks like, is making it clear and concise what you do and who you are. So I wanted to give this reference just because a lot of people might be looking at some of these top other athletes that they follow and comparing themselves. Some major athletes don't do this. For example, like Naomi Osaka. Don't compare yourself and your strategies with those who have millions of followers already. There's a lot of very notable people or famous people that they get that the public eye captured on TV or in the media, and then people come to their Instagram page and they already know who they are off the app very, very easily. And so they don't necessarily use all the tools that are available for them because they already have millions of followers with only making like one post. And we see this a lot for very, very high profile athletes. And so just make sure you don't compare your strategies to what they're doing because they started from the top level. They're not doing they didn't have to do the work to grow their Instagram and put in those keywords about making it clear and concise of what you do and who you are, team you play for, perhaps a school you went to because maybe future students from going into that school program want to follow you. Things like that, those are important to put in there so that people can find you. But yeah, don't compare yourself to some of those athletes. I've actually seen some athletes who put in, instead of athlete, they put like ice cream shop, or they put in just like random businesses as that category, just kind of for fun or for clout, but it's not going to actually help you grow on social media, which is the goal with this whole group here. Yeah, so some keywords you can think about. I mentioned like your sports, the schools that you went to, your team, awards that you've gotten, some of those quick highlights that you can put in. And now just remember that it only is going to show 4 lines of text. Now you can add a little bit more than that. Some people they like to put like a couple words and go on. However, on most people's sizing of phone, it'll actually make you click see more to be able to see more of that info if it's listed like that. And so I would suggest not doing that because it's going to take people more time to actually see what you've written in your bio, and you want to make it quick, concise, and easy to read. And now you also should have an ability to put a link. If some of you have a website or somewhere that you want to send people, then you can include this call to action or this link. If you don't, totally fine as well. Okay, so next we're going to go over some of the story highlights. If you can see at the bottom there, there's story highlights. I'm sure that you guys all know what stories are. They come up at the top of your Instagram homepage of what people are posting in their stories. Now, Instagram allows you to create highlights. So basically save these all or bookmark these all into one story highlight. So if someone pressed training, I've saved some of my top training posts for the last couple of years into there. So it's concise when someone's looking, oh, like what does she do for training? They can go and look at that. What has she posted about mindset, for example? They can go and look at that. So for some of you, you could categorize it however you want. Things that are important to you, things that matter to you. This is like extra space to put tabs basically on your profile and highlight things that you do. It could be behind the scenes training. It could be what you might do for work outside of sport. Other things that you want to promote or highlight or put into these categories, you can put these here. Now, you don't have to have them made like how I have. What I've done is I have a podcast, and the color branding scheme of that podcast is this kind of yellow. And so I've tried to make it consistent using that branding and that theme. And so that's why I've made all these. And now I've used an app, if you guys want to write this down, an app called Canva, canva.com. And it's basically, there's a free version and there's a paid version, but the free version should be fine. And you can make really easy graphics, basically like drag and drop graphics. So if you do want to make kind of more professional looking story highlights like these, you'll be able to make them within a matter of minutes. Now, if not, you just pick a cover image. And I think I just saw a question come up here. Canva.com. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Sarah. All right. Cool. All right. So we're going to move into insights. Trying to get rid of this chat, but my mouse isn't showing here. All right. I think we're good. Insights and what they mean. So insights are the metrics, the data that you get from your posts. Now, in future webinars, we're going to go over more details of some of the insights like overall, like the gender profile of who's following you, the age groups, where they're from. We'll go over more of that in future webinars. What I want you guys to learn from this webinar is just what each insight means so that you can read them from your posts. So, post insights. So some of the main things that you'll see at the top in the screenshot that I have here is likes, that's the heart, comments, which is, it's like the comment bubble, shares, which is the airplane, and then saves, which is the bookmark. Now, shares are basically when people share it to their story, share it in a private message to other people. Saves are when they've bookmarked the post. So usually it's a post that they find a lot of value in what you've written or what you've posted, that they're actually saving it to go back and refer to later. Now, the two things that I like to pay the most attention to, apart from comments, which are very meaningful, you're getting engagement, is shares and saves. I find these extremely valuable because what Instagram likes to see, especially when they're deciding if the algorithm is deciding if a post is going to be shown to more people, is shares and saves, because it's showing that people are spending a lot of time on your post. Instagram and any social media platform makes money from people spending more time on the app. So for example, if someone has a post and the minute that someone sees it, they like log off Instagram because they didn't like it, or somehow it led them off the app, Instagram isn't going to like that because it's not letting people spend more time on the app, which is what makes them money. So having shares and saves it shows to Instagram and the algorithm that your post is very valuable because people are sharing it with others. Perhaps it's a meaningful quote that resonated with them, or something that just was relatable, or they wanted to share with something else. It shows that it was valuable, they're spending time on it, and they're getting other people to then come onto the app and spend time seeing that post. Same thing with save. Someone is saving it for later, they're gonna come back, watch the video, read the post, whatever it is, and spend more time on the app. So these are things that I like to look at to see, okay, people really found this post valuable. And that means that the Instagram algorithm is also finding this post valuable. Now, again, I think I referenced earlier in the presentation, not to pay too much attention to likes, but comments I think are very valuable, especially when it's comments from your audience, and seeing what it is that they're writing and making sure that you're responding to these comments and engaging with people. Now, what's very important is actually making sure that once you've made a post, you're staying on and engaging with these people almost immediately, because this can encourage even more comments, which again helps Instagram show that people are engaged with you, you're building community, and people are spending time on your content, on your page, and on the app in general. So I think comments are one of the most valuable to look at, apart from shares and saves. Now, another thing that you'll see when you go to your insights, you'll see things like reach and impression. So what reach means is how many people actually saw your post. So this is an important number to look at. And then impressions, they're very similar, reach and impressions, but the big difference is that impressions is how many people's news feeds did it show up on. But if someone is scrolling so fast that they don't even see it, or it came up on their news feed, but they never scrolled as far to see it, it still counts as impressions. So I would pay attention more to reach, and that's how many people actually have seen your post. You can also look at where these people came from. So did they see it in their homepage? Did they find it in their Explore page? Or did they see it from other places? Say, for example, from hashtags. So we're going to learn more about account insights in future presentations. Here you guys can see a little bit more post insights here. So you can see underneath impressions, it'll tell you where these people came from. So from your homepage, like I mentioned, from your profile. So if they just came to your profile and then clicked on that post, from the Explore page, and then from other. Now from other means that perhaps they sent it to their group chat in iMessage or in WhatsApp. or some place that's off the app, or maybe a blog like Team USA took your post, put it onto a blog post on their website, and people came from that, that will count as other. So this is important so that you just know where these people are coming from. You can see, for example, if Instagram is actually pushing your post into that explore page, which is letting people discover you for the first time, you can actually go and see that. It'll also show this post, for example, didn't rank in any hashtags, so there wasn't a hashtags line there, but there would also be hashtags, and it'll show you the number of people who saw you from hashtags that were used in your post. All right, so here are some ways that you can get that initial growth, especially for all of you who are under 1,000 followers. So one way is amalgamating your current network of fans and followers. If you have an email list, if you have a LinkedIn, if you have a Facebook page, if you have a Twitter, sending people the link to your Instagram and directing them directly to your Instagram, whether it's through maybe in the bio of all those accounts, you say, you know, follow me on Instagram, or you send out an email newsletter, hey, check out my Instagram, or in your email sign off, you put in, check out my Instagram. Just kind of getting people to go and amalgamate all those people that you know from all these different networks to go and follow you on Instagram. That's one way that you can kind of build that initial growth. Another thing to do is start making some introductory posts. Introduce yourself and more of your background of what you do, especially as maybe you transition from doing more friends and family type posts, you know, just things that are happening during the day, to more building your personal brand strategically. Doing some of those things where you make those posts where you're introducing yourself for the first time, saying, hey, this is why I'm on here. I want to inspire the next generation. This is the school that I went to. You know, this is what's happening with my season or my upcoming season. Things like these are very important to at least get people who are first coming to your account see what you're all about. So having those first few posts that you make being about that. Now, another way is collaborating with teammates who might have more followers than you or equal, and you know, most likely their fans and followers are also going to be interested in what you do. They're following them perhaps for their hockey content, or their whatever they believe in, or being a female athlete. So you as a hockey player, a female athlete, perhaps would benefit from working together to grow your audiences together, where you have, you know, they repost some of your posts in their stories, vice versa. One thing that's interesting is I actually recently spoke to a PhD in sports management, and he does specific studies actually on athlete marketing and athlete branding. And what he showed was that posts with other teammates get far more engagement than posts on your own. And so the reasoning for this is that it helps you have that like, so it basically, it gives you like credibility that there's other people in that post with you. There's something just psychological about when someone sees a post with multiple people that kind of attracts them to it, as well as more likely than not, both of you are sharing that post. And so you're getting that cross audience connection. And another thing is just engaging with others. That's a great way to do initial growth. Engaging on your teammates' content, engaging on your team's content, engaging with content of all the other people in the industry, brands, businesses, organizations, fans, media pages that are within the female hockey industry. Engaging with these, leaving comments, sharing their posts and tagging them so that they're then reposting the stories that you've tagged them in. Those are other ways to get your name out there initially. All right. I still have this chat screen that's just coming up on my page, and I just want to get rid of it really quickly. 1 second. I'm just going to close this so I can get rid of it. It's so weird. Sorry, everybody. I just want to get rid of this chat screen because it's blocking my screen here, but I don't know. There we go. Perfect. All right. My apologies about that. All right. So in this webinar, we talked about getting started on Instagram, understanding the content and types and the insights behind them, as well as some of those first steps for initial growth. Now, coming up next week, we're going to go much further into Instagram strategy. This is going to be a big bulk presentation of kind of the next 3 presentations. That's the most important one. That's going to be really about how to start using Instagram more strategically, how to actually get ideas for what to post, the creation behind them, so some tips on how to do that, how to plan it out so that it's taking less time and it's more efficient and effective for you, as well as tips on posting. Like we'll get into hashtags and all those types of things on there. And then the week after that, we're going to get into some Instagram growth strategies. So taking that to the next level, advanced insights, post timing, and more tips and tricks. So again, this was more of the basics, how to get started, how to set up the profile, how to just understand some of the insights and those things. But we're going to get more into the actual posts and things like that next week. All right, so we're going to open this up to some Q&A. I know we had some questions from setting up the profile section. Let me know what more you guys want to know about starting that initial growth, setting up your profile, some of the content types, maybe understanding what Reels is if you're not sure. Now is the time to ask or request clarification. There is no question that's too basic. Ask away. There are some technical step-by-step instructions on instagram.com/help. And I'm actually going to look further into, for example, that issue that seems to be going on with not having the option to switch to a business or a creator account and see why that's happening. And that's likely where I'll be going. I'll be going to the Instagram site.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I was actually able to find it, so it ended up being just straight on that first settings page for some reason. I didn't even have to go into the account part, so I'm all set. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's great. That's perfect. Yeah, see, Instagram is testing different layouts for everybody. I think sometimes it's different in different countries, different in different area codes, and they're just different across different accounts. They're always trying to test new things. The layout, it's like the technical team behind Instagram is always doing this. It makes it more difficult when, you know, you're trying to, I see one thing and you might see something totally different, but I'm glad that we were able to resolve that one. Does anyone else have more questions? Like I mentioned, next week is going to be a lot further into like post hashtags strategy.
Yeah, Natalie, for the profile picture, I know you mentioned making sure it was clear. Is it recommended to have a selfie or a singular photo, not to be with another person?
Yeah, I would suggest that first photo be you. And be more of a headshot, whether it's, you know, an action shot or a more professional shot, either way, but I would definitely recommend it just be one person if possible.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This has been really helpful.
No problem. Any other questions? I think we're at about 45 minutes. And sometimes I talk long, and so I wanted to make sure I don't take up your full hour here. All right, I think we're good with the questions. I'm just gonna exit here.
Okay, so thank you so much, Natalie, for presenting, and we hope to see the rest of you guys at Natalie's other webinars in the following 2 Tuesdays.
Great.
Yeah,
thanks for putting this on.
Yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and definitely the next ones we're going to get a little bit more advanced into posting and stuff. So I would definitely recommend if you can't make it to the next 2, at least make it to the next one.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.